Okay, we're heading upstate right now to go visit my sister's house because GE Profile, who I partnered with to help make this video, sent us a very unique oven, and I want to talk about it. So you're probably familiar with electric and gas stovetops, but there is another way that you can cook on a stove. While it's kind of caught on more overseas, it is finally slowly starting to catch on here in the States, and that's induction cooking. But what is that even? So normally you have a gas stove with an open flame to provide heat, or an electric stovetop that heats up an element either directly or under a heat-proof glass top most of the time, and either of those then heat up the pot or pan above it. Well, induction is a form of an electric stovetop, but it goes about heating things up in a much nerdier way. Essentially, there is a conductor, like a copper coil, for example, underneath the heat-proof glass top, and when you turn it on, an alternating electrical current flows through it over and over. Now this creates a small electromagnetic field. Now by itself, this won't do anything. But if you put a conductive metal pan or pot on the top of the stove, the electromagnetic field created by the stove interacts with the magnetic pot and pan, and another alternating magnetic field is induced, hence the name. When that happens, the molecules inside the bottom of the pan start to move very quickly, and the friction of these molecules bouncing around causes the metal to heat up, and that then cooks whatever is in the pot or pan. So, what are the benefits to this type of cooking? Well, for one, it's fast. You can actually boil water way faster than, say, a gas or electric stove. And that's because there's just less things to transfer heat through. Now with a gas or an electric stovetop, there's a lot more layers that have to be heated up. So on a gas stovetop, you have the open flame, which then has to heat the bottom of the pan, which then has to heat the food inside of it. On an electric stove, normally, you have the heated element that then has to heat the glass top. That has to warm up enough to then heat the bottom of the pan, and the bottom of the pan then has to warm up enough to heat the food. In this case, there's no heat coming out of the stove. All it's doing is moving the molecules within the bottom of the pan itself. And so the bottom of the pan is actually what is generating the heat. So it's the bottom of the pan to the food. That's it. Another kind of nice side effect of that is that there's less heat escaping into the room itself, as again, the bottom of the pan is doing all the heating, as opposed to an open gas flame that obviously heat is escaping all around the pan and into the room. It's actually interesting, some professional chefs in some fancy restaurants have actually swapped out their gas ranges for induction ones. And by doing so, the entire kitchen is way cooler and much nicer to work in for their entire brigade of cooks. Apparently, if you can't stand the heat, don't get out of the kitchen, just get induction. Now in addition to that, because there is nothing being heated on the stovetop itself, you can actually touch it. And the only heat that you'll feel is the glass being heated by the pan, as opposed to the other way around. And so it's much cooler to the touch. And that actually becomes a big selling point for families that have small children that like to just put their hands everywhere. It's also more responsive than gas or electric. So you can just set it at low heat and it'll keep it there without having to cycle on and off and on and off like electric stoves usually have to do. And that brings us to another point. It's very precise. This model from GE Profile actually has a precision cooktop sensor that allows you to choose the temperature of the burner to the degree. The electromagnetic field can just be controlled at very specific speeds, resulting in exact current needed for a specific temperature. And this is actually a feature that I feel like takes induction up to a whole nother level. It's something that I feel like should be on all induction cooktops, honestly. One of the things you can do with this is you can even sous vide things on this burner without a sous vide machine. So sous vide is the process of precisely controlling the temperature of water in order to cook something in a sealed bag in the water way more precisely than other methods. Chefs in plenty of fancy restaurants use specific sous vide machines to do this all the time. You can use that feature to follow along with automated recipes, and they can actually control the exact temperature of that burner as the recipe needs it, as well as giving you pacing instructions so that everything just comes out exactly the way it's supposed to. Okay, so the only real downside is the fact that you need special pots and pans. And by special, I mean they need to have a magnetized base. So iron or magnetized stainless steel, both of which you might already have. Now the easiest way to tell is to just put a magnet on the bottom of the pan. If it sticks, it'll work. If it doesn't, It won't. GE Profile even gives you a rebate to get a Heston Q induction capable smart pan when you buy this range. That's their way of making the barrier to entry even lower. And the other thing, of course, is there's a learning curve. If you're coming from gas or an electric range, then induction takes some time to get used to. But when you do, it's like the nerdiest way to cook in the best way. As a nerd, I kind of like induction cooking. And it's not just because of like the sciencey bit, I also just really like the precision that you can achieve with it. And I can see how induction cooking and that precision makes smart cooking on a stovetop a lot more realistic or easier for you to do because you can control to the degree within the app, maybe follow a recipe, like we said, kind of neat. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Always appreciate hearing from you guys. Thanks again to GE Profile for sponsoring this video. If you want to check out what this range can do, I'll leave a link below so you can check that out if you're interested. As always though, regardless, thanks for watching. I overcooked the orzo, for sure. I left it cooking while I was filming and wasn't paying attention. But it's pretty good. It's not bad. Sausage is bomb though. This is my sister, and she mise en placed for me. Also came up with the entire recipe, like a chop challenge by looking through the fridge to see what she had. And helped me because I kept messing things up because I was trying to film at the same time. So, thank you, Dee.
Tastes good.
For anyone wondering what this is, this little dinosaur, he's a salt shaker. And he's got a pepper shaker friend, and they got little bow ties.